Hi, I'm Holly Lubart, and I'm honored to be joined by President Pro Tempore, Senator Jake Corman today.
Thank you.
Thanks so much for being with us.
My pleasure.
So can you just tell us a little bit about the recent announcement regarding posting of Senate expenses?
Sure. Yeah, when I became President Pro Tem, it was right after probably one of the most divisive elections of our time. And I think people's faith in government, people's faith in institutions over the last decade, there's been a lot of failures. So, my thought was, how do I, as an institutional officer now, President Pro Tem, how do I begin the process of having people restore faith in what we do and what goes on here in our world, in Harrisburg? And one of those is, as I said, was transparency. In all things that we do, we should be more transparent so people can look in, see what we're doing, and then make their judgments. And I think, for the most part, people in this building are very good people who are working hard to represent their districts. So we just need to let the light in, and so people can see. And so one of the areas was, I mentioned in my remarks, was our accounts, our expenses. How do we spend our money? And a lot of members already put things online so that their constituents could see. I thought we all should do that. And that way, it does a couple things. One, it lets people see so they can make their own judgments. And then two, those of us who are now putting our expenses online think, that's probably, I got to be careful, right? I got to do the right thing, spend it the correct way, the most efficient way. And it makes better stewards of the taxpayers of us when we know that everyone's going to be able to look in and see it. So I think it's a good thing for us to do, and hopefully it's the beginning of the process to have people really have faith in what government does here in Harrisburg.
And the Pennsylvania News Media Association advocates for transparency. This is a huge transparency step. So why did you think it was important for the media and the public to have this information?
Well, look, the media disseminates, right? Most people in the public aren't going to go online and look at this, right? They're not going to go through it one by one and see, but they could. And they can, but they're probably not going to do it. They don't have time. And so for the news media to be able to see it, they're the ones that are going to look at it. They're the ones who are going to do the reporting on it and then disseminate it for our constituents and the people of Pennsylvania. So that's why it's, obviously, we always say that the media is the fifth estate, right? And it's important that they're the fourth estate, I guess. It's important that they have access to it, and then they will disseminate to the public.
And you went to school for journalism, as did I. So why do you think the media and journalism is critical these days?
Well, I'm a little concerned about the media these days, to be honest with you, because it's more about advocacy than it is about reporting the news in a lot of areas. I mean, when the 24-hour news networks, it seems like Republicans have their network, Democrats have their network, all the online stuff, it seems like people are more interested in getting it out fast. When you and I went to school, I think it was pounding in our head it had to be right, correct? Everything had to be right. But it's a two-way street. We need to be open with them, and then hopefully they're open with us and fair in their reporting, and we have a better relationship. And then, again, the public benefits from that. So obviously it's important that we have a media who reports what goes on, because again, most people can't go through it themselves. We need media to do that. And so we're just making it a little bit easier for them.
And we represent over 300 members across the state, a lot of small local newspapers. Right. So do you see a big difference, with them kind of covering the local news as opposed to kind of the national news? Sure.
I mean, look, I represent rural Pennsylvania, so I have a lot of small town papers, the Centennial Times, the Lock Haven Express, Lewistown Sentinel, and others, Huntington Daily News. So we're, and they're still able to cover local news, right? Now with all the availability of news online and so forth, I don't know that we go to our local papers to find out, what's going on in Afghanistan, things of that nature, right? You're going on to see what's going on in your local community. And unfortunately, because the pressures on media locally, you don't have the resources they once did, right? Because of competition from online. So it's good to have services that can help those local papers, which are still critical to the community to have. It's helpful to have organizations like yourself and others to be able to get that to them so then they can take it, localize it, and use it for what they want, and still have that hometown feeling.
Was there anything else that you would like to add today?
No, hopefully this is just the beginning of what we're working on in other areas. We're starting our issue of lobby reform. Again, I think another area that's very important for the people of Pennsylvania to understand what the relationship is with people who come and lobby their legislators. So that's coming soon, and be other transparency items as well.
Well, thank you, Senator Jake Corman. We really greatly appreciate all of your efforts.
All right, thank you. Great to be with you.
Thank you.